And we all have to get through those layers of the idolatry that's in us. Because as we see, we go through a progress that stony ground, thorny ground, and good ground. We want to get towards good ground. We want to be good ground so we can bring forth fruit and that our fruit remains. But we know we have things or roadblocks that Satan will program us with and try to deceive us with. So let us stay focused on having our hearts fixed on God. Nothing else can satisfy. We have to get that mindset. Nothing else in this world can satisfy me like God. Everything else is temporal. The thing which I lust after, the thing that I seek after, it will disappear. As we will see later on. We'll keep on reading. Let's go to Exodus 32. Let's get an example. Let's get some physical examples. Exodus 32. Exodus 32. Start with verse 1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, see how they saw, okay, for as this Moses, oh wow. The man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we know not what has become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And this is an example of stony ground. God delivered the children of Israel out of the hand of the Egyptians. They witnessed firsthand the power and the wonders of God. But you see, they go a-whoring after other gods. Because it seemed as if God wasn't even real. Moses delayed. Where's Moses? What's taking all this time for? Let us make us another God in replace of this God. We really don't believe. Their heart was hardened. God compared the Israelites' heart to that of stone. Their heart wasn't to God, wasn't really towards God. And that's why God killed a lot of them off, and they never saw the promised land. So this is an example of stony ground. They really don't have a heart for God. You know, other things are in doubt, unbelief. Other things enter in, so we really can't believe God. Really don't trust this God. This Moses, who is this Moses, this God? Make us something that we can see and we can touch, we can feel. Make us something that's real, that's tangible to us, that will satisfy us as the people we think we are. So what other gods do we make today to make us feel satisfied in the times when we're seeing God is not even real? Where is this God? Where is this Moses? During the whole time their faith was being tried. So let us stay focused as well. Let's look at another example. We really want to examine stony ground and thorny ground. We really want to make sure, because that's the process we are going through right now. We're all trying to get to the point where we have bringing forth fruit, and our fruit remains. But there's a process we have to work out to get there. All right, so we want to stay focused on these things we must go through: stony hearts and thorny ground. All right, so let us look at 2 Samuel 11. This is a powerful example. So stony ground, the word cannot take root because of the things within them. Thorny ground, something else happens. 2 Samuel 11, I'm going to start verse 1. And it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem. And it came to pass in an eventide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her. For she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned into her house. Now, this is an example of thorny ground. David was in covenant with the Lord. Oh, David, a man after God's own heart. Oh, God, how I love thee. Oh, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. A man walking the path with God, in agreement. But then something came in from without and entered in. David lusted after another woman. After the commandment in Leviticus 20:10 said, you should not covet your neighbor's wife. But the word of the Lord wasn't important in this instance because something entered in. So remember, in and out. In and out. In and out. David, a man after God's own heart, broke covenant with God. Thorny grounds. People who brought forth fruit, but something came in and choked it out, and they become unfruitful. You know, the Lord was very displeased as we keep on reading, but we're not going to spend a lot of our time here. So remember, in and out. Stony ground, in, things from within. Thorny ground, things from without. All right? So let's keep on looking. Let's look at another example. Let's go to John 12. John 12. John 12, start verse 3. Then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the odor of the ointment. Then said one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, which should betray him, why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had to bag and bear what was put therein. This is another example of stony ground. Judas had witnessed, like the children of Israel, firsthand the power and the wonders of God Almighty. But something else was in his heart, covetousness. Something else was in his heart, covetousness. And he missed out on a lot of things. As we'll keep on reading, I'm going to show that. But what's really in our hearts? The idols, the money, the success, all of the things that will keep us from truly serving God. Jesus said, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. So as Christians, we have to adopt the same mentality. But Judas failed to do that. And so there are a lot of other examples in the Bible where we know because of God's mercy and grace, he gives us chances. But remember, when our time is up, your chances run out. Our time is ticking on all of us to make the right decisions, to choose God and to get rid of idolatry. But we see that Judas had idolatry in his heart, specifically covetousness. He wanted money more than he wanted Christ. He thought Christ's kingdom was going to be physical, material things. Yeah, I'm jumping on board with this. Little did he realize that Christ came to usher in a spiritual reality. So let's see where all our idols and all the things that we exalt above God, where do they lead us to? Let's turn to Matthew 27. And we stand with Judas. Matthew 27. Verse 5. This is Judas, Matthew 27, 5. And I'm sorry, reading 27:5. And he cast down the pieces of silver, the thing he coveted, the thing he sought after. Once he got it, he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. He finally got the thing he sought after, the thing that he thought would justify him, the thing that was really in his heart. That wasn't God, his idol. He got it. And look what he did. He killed himself.